How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Set 6, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the videos that I did a few weeks ago, and that was the video where we discussed the Clear Materia, and a lot of you left your thoughts in the comments below. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at some of the more liked comments and the more popular themes throughout the comments, you know, things where people were saying basically the same thing, and we'll have a little chat about them. Please do like the video and subscribe for future content, but let's jump straight in. So in the previous video, we went over a few ideas about what the Clear Materia could end up being used for. There was the possibility it could be used as some sort of mechanism to bring Aerith back or save Aerith. There was also the possibility that it was going to be charged up in some way and used to defeat Sephiroth towards the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. And a lot of the comments did kind of fall into that sort of category, you know, where it is going to be charged up, it is going to fill up over time, and it is going to be used to defeat Sephiroth. Everyone seems to be going roughly along the same sort of lines that that's what it's going to end up being used for, and that makes sense. That makes sense completely, because this Clear Materia could potentially be something extremely powerful, given that it came from the White Materia. And if this is just kind of showing us what the base state of these powerful materia is, like the White Materia and the Black Materia, then, you know, there are a lot of possibilities. Now, one of the more popular thoughts in general is that it's going to be Cloud filling the materia with his memories, but there are a few different routes that could go. One suggestion that we get is that it's during the live stream sequence, you know, the scene from Final Fantasy VII OG where Tifa helps Cloud piece together his memories of his childhood and of the Nibelheim incident. And this is a strong possibility. If the materia was to be made in this manner, it'd make sense to me if the materia's purpose was to keep Cloud on track. So anytime Jenova or Sephiroth start to bring those doubts that Cloud has bubbling to the surface, this materia that's filled with his memories of the truth will be able to snap him out of it, keep him on the straight and narrow, and make sure that he is able to then go on and defeat Sephiroth. That feels like a pretty good possibility for me, and a good way to go about this. Another idea is that these memories fill up over the course of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, and that as a materia it'll empower him, and it'll be something that only Cloud is able to use, but it will enable him to deal the killing blow on Sephiroth. And again, I like this idea as well. And as you can see, everyone seems to be thinking along the same sort of lines, that this is going to be something that is going to be essential in taking Sephiroth down. But there was another comment that looked at it in a slightly different way. Rather than it being used as a way to make Cloud stronger, or make him able to deal a killing blow on Sephiroth, it would instead be something that would take the memories that Cloud holds of Sephiroth and seal them away. And that is super interesting, because as we know from Livestream Black, in the period between Final Fantasy VII and Advent Children, Sephiroth's gonna dissolve and break down in the live stream, and he decides to make Cloud the focal point so that he can continue to exist. And he then enacted a plan from within the live stream to spread geostigma, and his plan was that Cloud would notice this and remember Sephiroth. And as long as a fragment of a memory of Sephiroth still exists within the live stream, then Sephiroth will be able to come back. So his plan is to have Cloud be that thing that constantly remembers him, that persists. And this is why he says things like, "I will not have you end," to Cloud at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, this alone, for me, has always been one of the big reasons why I feel that this is a sequel, because the Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII shouldn't be thinking like that yet. He barely even registers Cloud. So in order for Sephiroth to be thinking along the lines of, "You have to persist, I will not have you end," that's one of the big things that makes me feel that this is a Sephiroth, at the very least, from in between the OG and Advent Children, this Livestream Black Sephiroth. So yeah, I absolutely love this idea that the Clear Materia is going to be used to seal away the memories of Sephiroth. And who gives him the Clear Materia? Aerith. So I feel like very much this is some absolute big brain play by Aerith in order to not only defeat Sephiroth now, but forever. Yeah, I quite like this one. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I quite like all of them, don't get me wrong, but this one tickles a little bit. This whole using the Clear Materia to seal away Cloud's memories of Sephiroth. I like it. And maybe not even just Cloud's memories of Sephiroth. Maybe it's going to be something that, when cast, connects with the live stream and just gathers up all of that negative live stream energy, all of the damage that Sephiroth and Jenova have already done. Maybe that's what this Clear Materia is going to be for. And if this turns out to be the case, then that's Aerith just absolutely smashing it. Like, that is some big brain shit from Aerith, and I'm a fan of it. So yeah, really like this one. Really like this one. But another idea in the comments below that brought up a little bit of conversation is the fact that the black materia filled up with the desires of the Gi and their desire for oblivion. The white materia has potentially been filled up by the Cetra and their desire to protect the planet. So what this suggests is that rather than these extra powerful materia being brought about by memories and knowledge, it seems that they may become about because of strong desires, which is very interesting, because there are a few things that I think Cloud would want and could potentially want depending on how things go. The first and potentially most obvious of these things that Cloud might desire is for Aerith to survive. I mean, at the minute, at the end of Rebirth, he seems like he's in a state where he thinks that she has survived, seemingly. But I think we can all agree that there is eventually going to come a point where reality kicks in, shall we say. And maybe, in that moment where reality kicks in, maybe Cloud's strong desires for that not to be the case end up powering up this materia in some way. That's not necessarily to say that it would definitely be able to bring Aerith back, but what if that strong desire is the thing that powers the materia? That's a possibility. There are a few other possibilities for what Cloud wants, like maybe just for himself to be fixed. Maybe that's it, and maybe that falls in line with some of the ideas suggesting that it becomes filled with Cloud's memories of his past, the memories from the live stream sequence, things like that. Maybe those two things come together and create that one idea. But now, let's also suppose that Cloud potentially goes down this darker path that he seems to have been on throughout Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and maybe the desire becomes the reunion, which could end up giving us some sort of Jenova-powered materia that Sephiroth wants, so he takes it off Cloud instead of the black materia maybe. That's a whole different rabbit hole for how that could work out. But if it does turn out to be true that these special materia fill up because of desires, who knows where it could end up going. Another fun possibility that I saw in the comments was that maybe Cloud will be able to summon some part of himself. Maybe this is going to be Cloud's connection to some sort of omni version of himself, maybe. It's interesting, this one, because the white materia is obviously intrinsically linked with Aerith, and it does seem to facilitate her knowledge and memories of the future timeline, and her connection, potentially, to Omni Aerith. I think with Sephiroth, once we get the black materia to Sephiroth's actual body, the same thing could potentially happen again. So it wouldn't surprise me if something like this went down with Cloud. And there's also another possibility that I've kind of just come up with while thinking about these comments. And what if it's not about Cloud's desires? What if somehow Aerith's desires factor into it? Because she was there, in contact with Cloud, as she died but didn't. And what if her desires to have some kind of impact on Cloud and keep him together have had an effect on that materia? And this is maybe why Cloud is seeing the Aerith that we see at the end of the game. Maybe she's going to keep popping up, and it's because some piece of her desire and some part of her memory is within that materia. I don't know, there are a lot of possibilities. There are still even more possibilities than we've thought about in this video. Massive thank you to everybody for the comments in the previous video, thinking about things. Again, leave your thoughts in the comments below and get some conversation going about these ideas, and any other ideas you might have about what the Clear Materia could be used for. But it's good to see that everybody's kind of on the same wavelength, that this Clear Materia is going to be something very important. And yeah, I'm going to be honest, personally, I really like the idea of trapping Cloud's memories of Sephiroth within that materia. I think that could be That could be real good. And it gives a little bit of a new perspective on that scene with Cloud and Aerith in the Sleeping Forest, where it's clearly the Aerith that's in connection with everything again and knows what's going on and knows what needs to be done. That's the vibe I get anyway. And the fact that she gives Cloud this clear materia back, it just suggests that there's going to be a purpose to it, and that Aerith knows what this purpose is. Omni Sephiroth and Omni Aerith are playing this game of 7D chess, and I think the clear materia could well be one of the big moves that Aerith has made up to this point, if not the biggest. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Let me know what you're thinking about these ideas in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to future content, check out some of the other stuff on the channel. We checked out Fantasian Neo Dimension on stream last night, so the VOD's up for that, so if you want to check out the first hour and a bit of that game, that's on the channel for you. But more importantly than all of that, have a great day.